guys, how are you? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I've seen this book habits tag going around on YouTube lately, and I thought it would be a fun thing to do on my channel. It's basically 10 questions about your reading habits that I will answer for you, and hopefully you get to know me better. Here we go. Question number 1. Do you have a certain place at home for reading? If I'm being honest, I read the most in bed, on my phone, with all the lights off, trying to fall asleep. I have a chair in my living room that I set up with cozy blankets, good lighting, it's right by a window. I even bought a lamp to go behind it, but I often don't read in that chair. The chair was set up so that it could be my little reading nook. I just realistically don't read there. So yeah, I would say ideally I have a place for reading, but do I actually read there? No. Question number 2. Do you use a bookmark or a random slip of paper? So I usually just use a random scrap of paper, whatever happens to be around. I do have bookmarks and I'd love to use them more, but I usually just end up grabbing whatever's closest. What I definitely don't do is earmark my books. That's insane. Question number 3. Can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain amount of pages? So to be honest, I usually stop reading because I've fallen asleep, and then the next time I start reading, I have to go back a few pages to remember what I was reading before I fell asleep. Although when I'm not reading in bed, I can just stop reading anywhere. I usually finish the page or the little section if there's a section break on the page, but I don't have to go to the end of the chapter. Question number 4. Do you eat or drink while reading? Yes, I do eat or drink while eating. I can't eat a sandwich or a plate of spaghetti while I'm reading. I need to have snacks that are easy to eat with one hand or drinks that are easy to drink with one hand. But yes, one-handed snacks or cups of tea or coffee, they're great while you're reading. Question number 5, multitasking. Can you watch TV or listen to music while you're reading? I could maybe listen to instrumental music while I'm reading, or maybe the Harry Potter soundtracks. But I can't really focus on 2 things at once. So reading and watching TV is definitely out of the question. Question 6. Do you read one book at a time or several all at once? I'm usually reading several books at a time, although I'm reading one main book. That's the one that most of my attention goes to. That's the one that will get finished first. I often have a few books that I'm just reading whenever I feel like it, and those books are usually books I've read before or books I'm reading for a specific purpose, like the self-help type books. So I'd say I'm usually reading multiple books at the same time, but am I actually focusing on all of them at the same time? No. Question number 7. Reading at home or everywhere? For me, I read everywhere. I read on the bus, I read at work, anywhere that I have a free moment to pull out my book. I keep my book on an ebooks app on my phone, so if I always have my phone, I always have my book, which makes it really easy for me to read just wherever I can. Question 8. Reading out loud or silently in your head? So this is a no-brainer. Reading silently in your head, obviously. I cannot stand when people do things out loud. I don't need to hear your inner monologue. Even when I'm by myself, I'm extremely quiet. Question number 9. Do you read ahead or even skip pages? I definitely don't read ahead. I definitely don't skip pages. Sometimes if the paragraph is particularly boring or it's describing a tree for too long, I might skip to the end of the paragraph. Sometimes I accidentally open a book to a later page and maybe read to see kind of what's going on there, but again, it's not very much. Although when I do accidentally open the book to a page that's ahead of where I'm reading, I usually end up spoiling it for myself, so I try very hard not to do that. An example of that is when I was younger and I was reading Harry Potter for the first time. I was maybe on the 4th book and the 6th book had just came out, and I was at my friend's house. I picked up the 6th book just curious, flipped to a random page near the back, read one sentence. That sentence was, Snape killed Dumbledore. Spoiler alert for someone who hasn't read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, but yeah, that was really fun to be on the 4th book and know what happens in the 6th book. Flip open the book and spoil everything. Question 10. Breaking the spine or keeping it like new? Ideally, I would keep my books all like new, but if I'm so into the book and having such a good time and, lying upside down on the couch reading it and the spine needs to be bent, then that's what's going to happen. Question number 11. Do you write in your books? I absolutely do not write in my books, and no one else better write in my books either. That's basically a criminal offense. This reminds me of in Gilmore Girls when Rory lent a book to Jess and Jess gave it back having written in the book, and Rory was into Jess, so she thought this was all cute and everything. Meanwhile, I would have stopped talking to him immediately. People who write in books are crazy. Run, Rory. Well, there you go. That was fun. I answered all 11 questions for you, and hopefully now you know my reading habits a little bit better and what I think is unforgivable, aka writing in someone's book. I'd be curious to know in the comments down below if any of you do anything differently or if you disagree with any of the things I said. You can subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting out more videos on this channel, more book reviews, more fun tags like this. If you have any suggestions of tags like this one, you can feel free to tag me in them, and I'd love to do them. My Goodreads account is linked down below as well, and we can be friends on that, as well as I have an Instagram page called Majorly Overbooked where I post about my reading journey and what I'm currently reading, and I'd love for you to follow me on there as well. I'll have the link to both my Goodreads and my Instagram account in the description down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!